No, so probably a little bit of context for people who haven't attended one of these town hall sessions before. The idea being that we've got a few topics that we want to cover off with the community, get some feedback from Mindark, ask some questions, kind of look at how people are. Is the music still playing? Okay, awesome. I think that might be music on your side, Hallie, then. Okay, no, awesome. Yeah, so asking some general questions around the latest 19 version update, but then have some time towards the end for more general kind of open floor questions with the community. I've got a little bit of guidance down here on the screen. So if people haven't used this before, you can kind of right click on yourself, or there's buttons at the bottom of the screen in Discord to request permission to speak. I'll try and kind of invite people up as and when they do so, they request to speak when we go into the different questions and topics. If I do miss someone, feel free just to ping in the chat if I missed your request, and I'll get you invited up to the stage to ask your questions or provide your feedback. But no, I think then if there's no major questions or problems with that, then we can kick off. Yes, so version update 19 brought along Setesh and a completely new revamped player experience. So kind of I believe Mindark's goal was really streamlining the onboarding experience for new players and providing a much more focused kind of experience to get people more used to the mechanics of the game. So I think my two questions that I've really got here to kick off the discussion and kick off the town hall is kind of what's everyone's first impressions been of Setesh for people who have already gone over and walked through the new experience. How does the new experience with Setesh compare to how you originally found kind of learning the ropes of Entropia universe? And what parts of the new player experience do you think will help people kind of stick around? And then secondly, looking at kind of what should the next steps be for helping players get that much better a foothold in EU? And what's missing from the current Setesh experience that could help players get more experienced with the game. So it's kind of that's I think it on the guidance for this first topic. So if anyone would like to raise their hand and get invited up onto the stage, I'd like to hear people's feedback as to how they found Setesh.
Yeah, guys. So
Hey.
Satish was really interesting. What I felt was lacking is kind of the introduction to new players to the whole Entropia universe concept, in the sense that they're not getting really warned of how things work and what they need to pay attention to and things like that. So maybe you could improve on that side, letting people be more aware that, hey, you can actually lose money if you don't know what you're doing. Things like that. Thanks.
No, awesome. That makes sense. And probably one quick note. One thing that we wanted to try out this time around was because I think we're seeing a lot of new faces, new names. If you are invited up, give yourself like a quick intro before you start, just so that kind of people who might not know who you are have a little bit of context. If you're comfortable doing so, it's kind of just like from my side. I'm obviously Nana or Nanashana. I played. I think my account now is about 17 or 18 years old and played on and off all that time. And I think the people that know me in game know that I kind of dabble in all professions. Yeah, awesome. So anyone else want to share some feedback or their experiences with Setesh?
Here we go. Hi. Can everyone hear me okay now?
Yep, perfectly.
I go in game by Rosemo Renegard. I've been involved with Entropia now, I believe at least 18 years, if not longer. My first impressions of Satesh is it's a very promising move forward considering the game is quite old. It's gone through quite a bit. I think there's a lot of good aspects of Satesh that will help attract new players. I honestly, it's too early to say if it's going to retain those said players right now, but I think that it's definitely got some right moves. I think organically the next steps would be with the launch of Satesh is to potentially find where is the next area that on Entropia that you're going to transition a lot of these new aspects and modernized aspects of the game and transition it so that they can go from being that absolute new uber player that has this feedback and guidance where they made the efficiency and the weapons and everything else so they cannot lose as quickly as they can with the rest of the game, like the other speaker mentioned. It's very easy to lose money in this game by making just a few couple of bad choices, and it's enough to sour a potentially new player from not returning in the game because of it, right? So I think the next logical steps is have a way to transition that so that they can go from being that absolute new player to really going into it a little further. Like, so I'm talking about players that are level maybe 10 and up, right? If you want to look at the profession level, find a way to transition them into that, explain the more advanced mechanics of Entropia as the older players are aware of. But these new players need to be aware of it. There has to be resources that are officially available for these players, not just one-offs that are either non-official or rumors or player-made guides. I mean, like those are all great, nothing wrong with that. But I feel like Entropia needs official resources and guides explaining some of the more advanced mechanics that this game has. Just for instance, like the Cape Corinth event, right? Like, I think the biggest thing with that was, anybody could technically participate in it, but there was very little information about it unless you knew about it through Discord, I think, and Steam. There were issues with how it got played out in some aspects, and for a new player, that's like completely disconnected to them. Like they're not going to know heads for tails. So I feel like there needs to be more guidance around all of that to transition those players into the more other, to the other things. Anyways,
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. I think that kind of a smoother onboarding ramp up into the economy makes a lot of sense. But no, I think next up then would be Hallie.
Hello, hello. I am Hallie. I have played this game for way too long. That is 20 something years. I have done almost everything in the game and currently mostly hunt. I have not been on Sitesh. Sitesh looks absolutely gorgeous, but I wanted to wait for it to be more polished and be done. I'm trying to avoid being disappointed, so I didn't want to go initially. Now I'm looking very much forward to trying it. Up to this town hall today, I have spoken to quite a few people. Some of them are not comfortable speaking, so now I will say something that someone told me about in a conversation, and I will, on his behalf, present this. His wife started playing. He told her about Sitesh. She started playing. She's been doing very good. She came out of Sitesh with 65 pet on card from a new player, and she was very, very, very happy about this. But he was worried. He said that what is keeping people from repeating this over and over? How do Mind Dark and the game prevent this from being abused? How do we keep track of people not just using VPN to make new accounts and hoarding the money? Is there something already in place for this, or is this something we should be very concerned about?
Yeah, I think I kind of can't overly speak for Mindduck on this one, but I'm 100% sure there's enough kind of anti-fraud, anti-bot kind of detection rules and mechanisms in place so that that kind of abuse can't and shouldn't happen. Obviously, there will always be issues, and it's in kind of game dev and in any kind of business, there's always a constant fight against fraud and those sort of things. Yeah, I 100% it will be in a consideration that Minddoc made, and I'm sure they're kind of keeping a close eye on things.
Yeah, because it looks to me that it's very lucrative to start the player and actually get ahead and have something to show, and then you meet the real game and then you get obliterated like everyone else. But I think it's a good way to start people. So yeah,
No.
that was it on his behalf. I have a few others, but I will take them as they come.
Okay, thank you, Hallie.
Thank you. No problem.
Okay, did we have any more people wanting to give their impression or suggestions for Setesh? I think I did notice a couple of things in chat as well. I know someone mentioned around kind of like loading times and some of the textures loading in, and some kind of more on the bad experience side of things. 100%. I know that Mindark are aware of that as well, and some of the kind of optimization issues there. So that's, I believe, definitely being looked at. But no, so if there is no other initial kind of or any more comments on Setesh, we can at least move on to the next section. I've definitely allocated time towards the end for more general feedback and comments, so we can move on to the next topic, which is the UI and quality of life updates. But VU 19 also brought quite a lot of changes to, I think, action bars, message center, user lists, kind of reverting the chat colors to that old version, and some other kind of quality of life updates. I think there's definitely been PCF threads on quality of life changes and things that people want to see in the future, and things that currently are quite big pain points. So this part of the town hall definitely is more for kind of, has the recent quality of life updates been impactful to how people play the game? Or alternatively, is there more quality of life updates that people would like to see? I'm sure Eve is here, so I'm sure at some point we might hear about auctions, pills being added to the auction. So I will add that one in first for him. But no, if anyone wants to ask something, remember you can just right click yourself on Discord and request to speak. Okay, while we wait, I will invite Hallie back up.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. One quality of life issue that I simply can't fathom hasn't been addressed and fixed yet is the abduct into space abuse. The fact that people can still be abducted and put into space. One thing is if you are abducting someone that is a macro user that isn't paying attention, but this is also affecting new players. This is also affecting people that has no way of knowing how to get out of that damn ship again. It's quite frankly ridiculous. And I know for a fact that we have already lost new players that have been robbed by this. So it's bad. That's it.
Thanks, Ali. And yeah, I know that there's definitely been some reports of kind of, I think, especially even in the latest Corinth event, of people flying around and trying to pick up people actively hunting. But no, thanks for raising that one. But no, so is there any other parts of the UI or how people interact with the game that currently causes friction? I think probably to throw out a couple of examples out there. Recently, trying to find, say, a high tier rate armor or weapon on auction is an incredibly painful experience. So having to click through multiple times in each auction row to inspect the tier increase rate is a huge pain. So that being displayed actually on the auction row is something that's been raised and flagged multiple times, and kind of I think the feedback that I think is good to raise in this forum. And yeah, I see one there in the chat around the thickness of the scroll bar on maps. So are you talking about Bic, the drop down box for like teleporting and changing locations? I believe that is raised, and I think in the latest update notes, they did mention that some of the drop down boxes have been reworked, and the other ones will be coming in a future update. So that's definitely already been looked at. Still just catching up on chat. 100% as well on the waypoints in space, and I think also adding to that, warping in space occasionally, kind of setting you to kind of like the min or max kind of Z coordinates, and it's very, very easy to get disoriented, is also something that definitely needs looking at. All right, it looks like Hallie is asking up again. Definitely feel free if anyone feels like they want to kind of, instead of chatting, come on and chat in person. Obviously, if you feel comfortable. But hello again, Hallie.
Thank you. And this is again something from someone that was not able to be here. This is more general about the town hall meeting. I will start by saying this is not on my own behalf. This is on behalf of someone else that I actually disagree with. But he was he addressed me and asked me about this. There are some people that are banned from the regular Discord channel that are not able to attend this, and this is not, in fact, a Mindark server. Has this been thought about? Has this been addressed? And how could we possibly address this in the future? Because people's grievances with the regular Discord channel might not actually translate that well to this place.
No, that is a very good point. I think I can take that one away and have a chat with the team and see if there's a way that we can kind of provide a more kind of neutral or even more neutral kind of area to have these town halls. I think it obviously does come with other challenges in terms of just moderation as well. it's definitely convenient having the majority of at least the Entropia player base here, but I do acknowledge that there will be people who might have been banned from here that can't attend.
Yeah, and they might have been banned like several years ago and might have actually gone ahead and changed a bit. And I will say that these people are not people that I particularly want to be here. It's just addressing something that I was asked.
No, thanks, Hallie. Awesome. Yeah, again, catching up with the chat. So on things like, at least on your question there, Infamous, definitely I don't have any kind of knowledge around kind of development kind of pipelines or when things are specifically going to get fixed for that one. But I believe it's something that is on MindDoc's radar, but depending obviously on how complex it is to fix it in current engine, some things may require kind of or kind of waiting until the Unreal Engine update to be addressed. I know, and I agree on the above point around land areas and land area management. I think that's also been raised a few times, kind of trying to breathe some life back into plot ownership in all of the planets that have land areas where they're sitting kind of unused or kind of unpopulated. I think would breathe some extra life back to the planets and game economy. Okay, I think we can spend at least a couple more minutes on kind of UI, quality of life, before moving into the next section. So if there's any more questions or people that want to unmute. Oh, I see one.
Hi, how's the mic quality? Can you guys hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Okay. So I just had one quality of life update that I think would be pretty cool. When you list an item on the auction, is it possible you guys could like by default keep like the listing price as like the weekly markup of that week instead of starting at 0? Because like it's extremely easy to make mistakes listing things for the wrong prices and whatnot.
Yeah, so pre-populating kind of like the cell window based on what you put in. That does make a lot of sense. No, that's a good suggestion.
Okay, nice. Just one last question. Just to get confirmation, is Unreal Engine still being worked on or is that scrapped? Because I haven't heard any updates in a very long time.
I have zero information, and I can't kind of comment on that in any form of capacity or speculate. I really don't know. I think any information around that would be shared by either Socrates or the MindArc team.
Okay, so you're not part of the MindArc team? Like you're a community?
Yeah, I'm on the player side, so I kind of work
I
with
see.
the team to help kind of speed up or kind of raise the visibility of support cases, collect feedback, run these kind of town hall meetings, and kind of try and bridge some of the gap between the community and MindArc. So I don't have any visibility on roadmaps or kind of things happening kind of behind the scenes.
Okay, I see. All right, well, thank you for your efforts. You're doing a great job.
Thanks.
Yep.
Okay, so then I think oh no, there's one more person requesting to speak. Hey, Neon.
Hello, can you hear me well?
Perfectly.
Hi Nana, hi everyone. I would just like to discuss like the lack of support lately. It's been really bad lately. I've had support open since May, and the response time of some small and easy fixes, it's around 4 to 5 days. And I would like to address this because I think this is not acceptable for a real cash economy game.
Yeah, no, 100%, and I think that sentiment is definitely shared amongst the community. There's definitely been an influx of. I think most people who've been keeping an eye on the Discord will have seen a lot of two-factor authentication related kind of issues and access. So that issue has definitely been highlighted at the moment, especially that getting timely responses back. I'm sure Mindark are definitely very, very aware of the volume of support cases that they receive, but it would definitely be useful to get a bit of an update there as to how Mindark might be looking to improve the support case, kind of how support cases are handled for the community.
Yeah, that's all. Thank you very much for listening.
Yep, no worries. Cheers, Neon. Okay, so let's just make sure I haven't missed anything in chat before we move on. Oh, we have one more person requesting to speak.
Hello, I'm Dr. Zena. I'm not sure if all of you have the same problem. This problem became with the new interface. When I'm running to a mob and I press F to just attack him, the avatar is not running smoothly. It's just stop and run, and so on. I'm not sure you have the same problem, but when this new interface came, since that time I have this problem, but was not before. On the old interface, I didn't have this problem. So when I'm running in to a mob to attack, to shoot, to kill, and I press F, the avatar is stucking. It's glitching. No, it's not running smoothly.
Yeah, no, I think at least chat is definitely also, I think, experienced that. There's definitely a stuttering that happens now with repeatedly kind of, or kind of when you press F. I don't know if it's been added as a kind of anti-bot kind of prevention or mechanism, but definitely I can make sure that's flagged with the team as well.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think we're on time, so I can move on to the third section of today's town hall, which is the PvP and oil rig changes. So I think there's a smaller slice of the community that have kind of engaged with this, but definitely there's been quite a lot more activity as far as I've seen with the amount of PvP kill sprees and hoffs going on lately. So the kind of questions that I've got here, kind of with the increases with the amount of oil that people get at the rig now, and the re-enabling of the other oil rig, do people feel like there's a better kind of risk reward balance that now makes kind of going to the rig and competing for oil or PvPing there more appealing? Have people who have previously not been to the rig kind of been tempted or popped over to see what it's like now? Or are there still things that kind of make you not want to go and participate? And then secondly, kind of any thoughts or feelings around how the changes to the oil rig might actually change how PvP and kind of society or player dynamics might happen kind of going forward. Hey, EXO.
Hey, am I coming through clear?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, I'm EXO. People at the rig have probably seen me at least a couple of times. So the changes to the oil drops, I think, have been good. It's been stimulating a little bit of like action there and stuff. However, the risk and reward thing isn't quite balanced, I think, over there. Because there's a lot of people still running in like naked and hoping to snatch oil and stuff like that. So I have a suggestion there that I've mentioned on a couple of places, that the oil should be lootable, so that if you get killed after snatching oil, then the next person has it and so on, until it actually gets like carried out from the area. That would make it a little bit more risk and reward based, I think.
No, that does make sense. So kind of like a temporary lootable resource. So it's only that's lootable. Kind of within
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Because that would incentivize people to actually like protect themselves, fight, stuff like that. How it is right now, it's basically just a swarm of people running in and hoping to snatch a spawn before anyone else, and if they die, it doesn't matter. So there's no real like reason to PvP there. It's more about picking the oil. And that's basically all I wanted.
That makes sense. No, thanks, Exo. Now, I've seen a couple of comments in the chat as well around kind of decay coming back. So I think Vandal specifically mentioned kind of vehicles. I know it takes quite a few ped to kind of kill a pit bull. And once people have got a sizable amount of HP, kind of you can easily drop a couple of ped into killing an individual player. So definitely, I think kind of it's come up a couple of times on the forum as well. The more that people participate and the more competition over oil, the very quickly the balance tends to evaporate. But no, anyone else, feel free to raise your hand and request to speak. But again, is there any other changes that people would like to see to the oil rig, PvP in general, kind of lootable PvP areas and that side of Entropia?
Hey, so about lootable.
Yes.
Okay. There's a problem with oil, for instance, in lootable, because they are just extracting it and they are refining it and they are putting it in a vehicle. So they can lose it. And then, well, on Calypso, there is like Listerium and oil on the border, so there is no point to mine. The only problem I see now is on Arcadia, because they can just mine on border with vehicle, and they can just stack the minerals in pit bulls, or they can just spawn them when they see a green dot. So I asked like the developer on Arcadia to add the non-vehicle zone near the PvP, and it's been like 2 years.
Yeah, so that definitely sounds like a wider vehicle exclusion zone around lootable, and also disabling the functionality, like you disable being able to sell stuff with the trade terminal or refine things.
And
in
the
lootable.
biggest exploit, I say, it's what Vandal said with the rocket, and we reported some players for like 3, 4, 5 years. Because I think something have to change in about the low life in lootable. And I
No,
think
100%. There's definitely been, I think, quite a few reports of people using different mechanics to avoid being looted in lootable. And I think there's forum threads, and it's quite well known now that there's definitely problems with PvP
yeah,
and
and
it being
what
very
should I
one-sided
say?
and lootable.
I had some friends that used to have their hiding spots in lootable, you know, and they used to do minerals in lootable, and then they were picking them up later on. So that's a problem also.
No, yeah.
I
So
think I'm done for
I
now.
think, yep. No, thanks. Yeah, so it does definitely. There's a lot of areas that need to be locked down. I think to make lootable and other competitive PvP related actions a bit fairer and even. But no, I think a lot of those have definitely already been raised and flagged. But it doesn't hurt making sure that they're recaptured as well for MindDoc to take a look at. But no, any more questions, comments from folks on PvP or Ulrig and balance there? I think in answer to your question, Vandal, I believe kind of definitely the kind of the vehicle spawning and exclusion zone around Ashy Rig is much too small. And I do believe that MindDoc are looking to address that and make it impossible for people to drop vehicles kind of from the sky into the zone and other things like that. So they're already looking at that one. Okay, well, I think if there's no one else looking to unmute and hop onto the stage to talk about PvP and Ulrig changes, we can move over to the next section of the town hall, which is more the general kind of feedback and discussion. So this is kind of just the section for anyone else or any other topics that people feel passionate about and want to raise while we're in this town hall. I'll probably quickly kind of cover off on the question that I got directly there from Tatsumi-san. I think there's definitely lots of opportunities for free-to-play players to make peds without sweating or picking up fruits. Kind of ultimately, if you don't have or haven't found a mentor yet, that would definitely be something worth kind of looking to find someone who shares that same kind of mindset and how they play the game. But there's always going to be areas where you can provide services or support other players or find little niches within the economy to make some peds. As a very specific example, I was looking for someone today to advertise the town hall for me because I had a very busy evening with the kids to make sure that the most people knew about today as possible. So that there's definitely opportunities, but you might have to kind of promote yourself and reach out to other players and go looking for where you can add value. But no, so kind of going back to the topics, general feedback and discussion. Anyone have something they want to raise?
Hello, guys.
Hey.
I'm the fifth entity. I wanted to ask when they will add back the Troxys on the rig or real mobs that can provide some damage to the naked players.
Thanks for the question. I'm not entirely sure. I've got the impression that they removed the ability to mob train to make the PvP around the rig more kind of PvP focused instead of allowing kind of mob training and other things like that. So I don't know if there is intention right now to add mobs back, but it's definitely a suggestion that can be taken back to MindArc that people are looking to have more mobs again around there.
Thank you very much. See ya.
Cheers. Hey again, Exo.
Hey again. So I'd like a little bit of love for the people that own spaceships, because there's currently quite a few bugs. First and foremost, like when you exit a seat, sometimes you get stuck in a wall or outside the ship, stuff like that, and sometimes you can't exit seats at all. So those are like kind of game-breaking bugs that would need to be addressed. And also, I'm wondering if there's any plans on making the attachable mining gear for the prospector ships.
No, cheers for the question. So definitely kind of I know I've been doing a lot of space mining recently, so I've been experiencing quite acutely a lot of those problems that you've flagged there. I think to answer the first part, MindArc's definitely aware of a lot of the kind of seat and space related issues at the moment. I believe my understanding is that a lot of them tend to be quite server related, and that causes a lot more complications because they're quite hard to reliably replicate. But that it's definitely in focus, and I believe that it is something that they're actively looking at and trying to find a solution for. On the attached lasers for prospectors, again, I think that's something that's also been flagged to MindArc already as a concern, because obviously I think a prospector is meant to be a mining ship, and not having full mining capabilities didn't thematically make a lot of sense.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Exo. Hey, Bonnie.
Hello, Nana. I guess I'll introduce myself quickly. I'm Bonnie. I've been playing about 15 years now. I'm content creator, etc. I've got a kind of question that does affect me, but it's kind of more affecting all of the winners of the new Corinth beach shops and things like that. And it's just to find out, I know that MindArc is aware of it, but people are asking all the time now, like, when will this be fixed? I don't know if you're aware of the problem, but essentially the hero estates on Next Island have it really bad, whereby you're only allowed a very small amount of items in the outside area and a huge amount of items in the inside area. Now, the hero estates don't have an inside area. So we have, these massive big islands that we can hardly put anything down on. And we kind of got over that because it was a long time ago. It's still a bug, but it's fine. But the new Corinth estate owners are now up in arms because they have these kind of big beach houses with a whole lot of real estate, and they have the exact same problem, a tiny little number that they can actually put on the vast land that they've got, and a huge number that they can put on the inside, and they've only got like these tiny little beach huts. So they're kind of up in arms about that. When it was Next Island who owned the hero estates, they had said that they'd been back and forward with MindArc, and MindArc had kind of told them there's nothing that can be done about it. Now, obviously, it's a MindArc problem too on Calypso, because Socrates was the one who was dealing with it on Next Island back then. Is it something that MindArc could actively try and fix, not just for the hero estate people, but for the people who've just won these prizes that are kind of pretty much useless now?
No, thanks, Bonnie. 100%. There's, I think it's not something that's exclusive to that. There's, I think there's other issues. Like look at there's similar issues on the shops on Howling Mine, where interior exterior item points are also don't make a lot of sense. So 100%, I can definitely take that to Mindark and see what can be done with the discrepancy between how many item points are available on the interiors and exteriors of some of these plots.
That'd be great. Thank you. And thank you for doing this. I'm sure the players all really appreciate it.
All right. Cheers, Bonnie. Okay, welcome back, Hallie.
Hello, and thank you. And sorry for hogging so much of the time, but I have a lot on my mind. I would like to talk a little about integrity and how Mindark conduct its business sometimes. Quite a few players have experienced being either banned for reasons they do not know. They get no contact from Mindark. It takes many, many days to get anything told or anything done in any way. People have had some of their items taken out of their possession without explanation. Some of them were obviously bugged. Some of them were having different kinds of issues. And some of these players that have been banned have maybe had a wife playing or maybe had a ship or stuff like that. But we're getting more and more of these. And obviously, this will happen. But having 40 days, having your item taken away without any answers, that can't be good enough. Minder can't be proud about that. Is there being anything done to like expedite some issues more than others, being more focused on things that are very expensive or very high priority? Is there anything being done about support and the way Mindark handles this and takes responsibility of it?
Thanks for that one, Hallie. So I think kind of the thing that I take away from that is that Mindark needs to get better at proactive communication with players, especially in cases, like you say, where they're taking some form of action on their accounts, whether it's removing an item. I know recently there was the Next Island vehicles that were repossessed due to being incredibly unbalanced. And also there was, I think, a couple of cases on the forum with the pilot being locked. So 100%, I think Mindark needs to be aware that the quality of their communication and how they inform players of these kind of issues need to be improved and worked on. So I can definitely take that to Mindark and see what they can do to improve how they communicate in those cases, instead of people having to go to Mindark with a support case, whether they can actually proactively say kind of this item's been removed for this reason, and kind of send that as it happens, as opposed to waiting for someone else to come to them first and ask why was this item taken. But no, that's a really good point.
Yeah, and I know that I don't speak for everyone because some people will be very opposed to this. I would like to give even more information about myself to Mindark, making my account even more secure, making sure that Mindark has a direct way to contact me if something happens. God forbid someone breaks into my house and get a hold of my phone and empties my account tomorrow. I would be very much distraught and without any real good way of contacting Mindark. I could probably call them, but outside of this normal function, it's very hard sometimes to get action done when it's quite serious. And these are 100,000 of pets and tens of thousands of dollars worth of items people have is being taken away from them. So yeah, more direct contact and more accountability for doing that.
No, that does make a lot of sense. No, thanks, Hallie.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
One thing I stumbled upon recently, and I thought I did a screenshot, but I can't seem to find it right now, is with the auction interface. Low TT, high markup items are kind of bugged in the market history graph. Specifically, it was the RDI, what is it called? Cybernetic Eye, the thing that you need to enter the Queen instance for the code. If you look at the market history, because it's low TT and very high markup, you can't, like, if you hover with the mouse over the graph, it just gives bogus values.
Yeah, no, I think that's a very common, especially with new players as well. Kind of trying to understand market values and auction history, especially when you're looking at millions of % of markup and things being very unintuitive, kind of causes a lot of confusion with players as well.
Especially in this case where it doesn't even show up, like it's just up to a certain point. I guess it's just too many digits. Because up to a certain point it does show you, like on boxes for example, it works, but on that eye it doesn't.
No, that's odd. I wonder if that's due to it having an exceptionally low TT on that particular item. That's probably good feedback as well, because kind of raising the TT of that and
I mean,
fixing
it
the
has
market
been
chart.
suggested before that items like these might be better off with a fixed markup like TT plus value instead of % of the TT.
Yeah, it's that kind of absolute markup versus kind of relative markup kind of problem. But no, thanks, Tina. I can flag that one as well.
Yeah, someone in chat says it's 6 digits max.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's definitely a bit of a display bug. But no, thanks for flagging that one.
Hi.
Hey, welcome.
Thank you. I also have a question about the support team. I'm an old returning player, and I have tickets from 5 years back that has been unanswered. I got several mails asking about what I feel about their support, but I haven't got a single reply for 5 years.
Yeah, I do think kind of from looking at trends and histories that there does seem to be a bit of a bug at the moment with support, that once things go out of a particular kind of SLA, things kind of just completely fall through the cracks after a certain point. Definitely, again, it's an unexcusable, I think, problem with MindDarks, how they handle support cases, kind of generally. But yeah, no, there shouldn't be cases where support cases are active and open and unresponded after that length of time. They ideally should have been kind of answered or closed out well before that.
Yeah, but when you still make new tickets and you still get no replies, what are you supposed to do?
I think that's I don't know if you were here earlier, but there was another similar question asked earlier, where kind of right now we're definitely seeing issues where I don't know if MindArk is currently receiving an kind of an oversized amount of support requests, but there's definitely signals that they're not being able to keep up that much with the volume of support tickets being created at the moment. But I kind of one of my kind of at least action items to take away is to kind of see if Mindark has a plan or a proposal that they can circulate with the community as to how they're going to address this and make this better, because right now the sentiment is that support really does suck, and I 100% agree with that. So I think kind of from my side, it's kind of in Mindark's court now to kind of we've identified a problem as a community, and now we need to understand how Mindark's going to improve and make it better. But no, thank you. I think there's been a couple of people waiting in the queue now for a little while.
Hey again. Oh, Rose, for those that don't know. So this is actually touching back to what he just said, plus Hallie before about accountability and support. Okay, so everybody knows support sucks. It's pretty bad. My for you, Nana, to provide feedback further to MA, take it back to them. It's also got to do with the fact Mindark is now on Steam. Entropia is on Steam. This opens them up to so much more scrutiny and legal issues. If they continue with their old habits to date, this is going to literally be the grounds to remove Entropia once more when they were given such a great opportunity. The way they handled the recent Cape Corinth event, this could have technically worked against them. And this shouldn't be this should be well-known knowledge that when you join Steam as a game, you are basically in a probation period of sorts. And with Entropia being a real cash economy, it is under far more scrutiny than most games to begin with. Now, everybody here, for the most part, knows this is an old game. It's been around for a while and everything. But their lack of support, the way they handle issues to date, the lack of accountability, all of this is grounds for them to get removed from Steam just as quick as they got on there. Like, for instance, everything that happened with the Cape Corinth event, yeah, the hunting was okay, that part was fine. But that whole thing with the trade-in, when people had issues with it, and they were trying to contact support through Discord, they contacted support through the ticket system, they contacted support through Planet Calypso forum. Do you know how much of a bigger deal it is, the fact that the majority of players that wanted to participate couldn't even get a simple yes or no answer? Hey, is this an exploit? Can I do this? Is this okay? And yet, when only a couple of players was able to get official Mindark response in regards to that event and was able to carry out something like they did recently, this is setting a precedent for future events and future behavior of how Mindark is dealing with things. Now, Socrates did say he learned a lot from that. There's going to be mistakes that aren't going to be repeated again. But that's besides the point. We know, the players that have been here for a couple of decades, including you, Nana, know that this has continuously happened. It's the whole, asking for permission, or asking for forgiveness before permission, that whole saying. That's basically what's happening here. Mindark keeps thinking that they can keep doing these little things that is so detrimental to new and older players, and they're refusing to provide the support. They think it's okay to have a ticket 6 months to a year. It's better to not answer, or even worse, which I would like you to bring up, the censorship. The censorship on the official channels where they go ahead and strip everything, remove comments, so nobody can actually voice anything. Because if you voice it there, God forbid it's actually up there. They just go ahead and delete and scrub it like nothing happened. So I'm like, okay, I understand. You want to moderate things, and there's nothing wrong with moderation. But when you are trying to inform the player base of something happening in active time that affects real money, you cannot just scrub it out and pretend nothing's happening, because then Mindark is now on the receiving end of potential legal issues, including from its player base, because they are literally messing with their own TOS. And all I'm saying is, with them being on Steam now, and yes, I know some people are going to be like, well, how is this a legal issue? It's actually a lot more complex, but if you go into their TOS and you consider the fact it's a real cash economy, if you advertise a legitimate, official, sanctioned event, and nowhere does it say anywhere, hey, Players can mess with your ability to participate, which last time I checked on the TOS, players are not supposed to be messing with other players' gameplay. Then you need to consider that there is something seriously flawed here and it needs to get addressed. And Miner can't just sweep it under the rug. They can't just say, oh, this is just part of gameplay. I'm like, sure it is. But everyone has to know it's part of the gameplay. Everyone has to be informed. And it ties into the whole, there is no proper support or they are being too ignorant about it. And it really needs to be a bigger priority than they take it on. So I just want to add that piece. And I know it's a lot, but
yeah. No, and I think I think that a huge chunk of the player base definitely will agree that Mindark's kind of approach has still got a lot of room to grow. I think looking at things and how things have come over the last kind of 4 or 5 years, I think objectively, I see that Mindark has made quite a lot of strides in the right direction. I think 100% it's still not there yet in terms of accountability and how they interact and kind of engage back with the community. I think it's on kind of myself and the community to make sure that we hold Mindark accountable for the decisions that they make. But 100%, kind of all of that feedback. I know that you said Socrates has already acknowledged that the current crafting event specifically was, it's not going to be repeated again in that format, at least with the loopholes that existed and the confusion there with the player base. But 100%, kind of, I think is all very valid feedback. But no, awesome. Let's see, got a couple more speakers requesting.
Hello again. About space mining and prospector ships. Some players, including me, invested some thousands of beds in creating that 10 prospector ships. And in this moment, you can do much efficient mining, space mining with limited quad of 42 ped. I'm sure it's not okay, it's not balanced. When players created those ships, hopefully they hope that are special, and I think it's not right to just spend 42 ped and do more efficient space mine, and those who struggle to create the prospector ships are not in any advantage after all. I think these things must be balanced a little bit. Those prospector ships must have at least an advantage. At this moment, I think is a minor advantage, but after level 60 or something like that, when you can mount a heavy weapon on it. But you can easily use a quad of 42 ped, is much efficient. So what's the point of prospector ships?
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think I said earlier that I've spent a lot of time in the last few weeks kind of really getting back into some of the space mining. And obviously I was hitting that myself personally very hard when space mining first launched. There's been a lot of feedback to Mindark around the balance of space mining, and I think at least it's on their radar that things currently aren't well balanced, and a lot of your concerns there I think have already been raised with Mindark to look at addressing.
Thank you.
Hey y'all. My name is Marijuana. Used to own Pathfinder 2 and ended up running a warp service and sold that, and now I have OLA 44. And just to touch on the support thing, because I don't want to talk on it too much, but like I've been wanting to upgrade for a little while, and when it has to do with that much money and wanting to improve it, it should be a little bit quicker than, you know what I'm saying? Like, because it's a real cash economy, so it's like you want to do better, but you can't really get a hold of anybody. And that's all. I mean, everybody's had the same problem, so I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to come at it from a different perspective. Thank you.
No, cheers. Thanks for the feedback. Okay, so it looks like we've cleared out the request to speak queue. Anyone else have any general feedback or kind of discussion points they want to raise? I'll do a quick skim through the chat. I see a question here. How did Mindot get the peds to buy the mats on the last current event? 100%, I don't have any context there. Could be marketing budget. It could be anything. I really don't know what kind of where Mindot would have gotten those peds from, but I'm sure it's 100% accounted from some budget.
Hello, this is Holiday. Thanks for having this, Nana. I wasn't sure if I wanted to bring this up because I hear a lot of concerns that are probably a higher priority, but I just wanted to share my experience. Just in general, there's a lot of little annoying bugs in the game that I'd hope would get taken a look at or prioritized over other things. One specific that just wanted to call out. I don't know if everybody, who's experienced this, but whenever I'm running around and playing, right, if I open, let's say, auction or inventory, then it'll just keep doing the whatever action I was doing last. So let's say I make a right, then it'll just keep going that direction. Or if I happen to jump, then it'll just keep jumping. Or whatever action you do, like prior to hitting the auction, like the auction tab or the inventory tab or the globals tab, it'll just keep repeating that action. And the only solution sometimes is to spawn a vehicle, hop in, and then come back out. So it's just a quality of life bug that I would like to add to the long list of items.
Yeah, no, thanks for flagging that one. I think that's one that happens rarely, but also commonly enough where it kind of really annoys you when it happens, and you get stuck running or some kind of input, and it just ruins the immersion, and it just ruins the whatever kind of flow that you were in. So I think it's good to raise those, even if they are kind of perceivably kind of small in relation to other problems, because again, it all definitely adds up to how the game feels and how the game plays.
Yeah.
So no,
agree.
it's always useful to raise those.
Thanks.
No, thanks. Okay, no, awesome. So I think that pretty much at least gets us to time for at least how much time I'd allocated for this town hall. If people want to still hang around, I'll move over after this into the main voice chat, but happy for people to hop over there and continue some discussions in a little less of a moderated forum. But thanks all for joining and participating, and good to hear all the feedback coming from everyone.